You are Locked On Rockets Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Did the Houston Rockets just make a massive statement to the entire NBA by taking out the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at home in one of the most fun basketball games we have seen in this city in quite some time? Without a doubt, the best win so far of the season for the Rockets as they take down those Oklahoma City Thunder on a night where the energy was great. You felt it throughout the building. You felt it throughout the way that the team played. They overcame some obstacles during the game. They did a lot of everything and giving you more evidence that this team is ascending to the place that they have been trying to get back to since the last era of Rockets basketball ended. And tonight is another one of those nights that reminds you that, hey, it is nice to have fun and good basketball back in our city. Hello and welcome to the Rockets, the Locked On Rockets Postcast here tonight. I am your host, Michael Connor. If you're new to this show or this channel, thank you for stopping by, whether this is live or after we have done this show. I always appreciate it. This episode tonight is brought to you by the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. So the Rockets tonight, I mean, from the jump, the energy was fantastic. Now, I always like to bring that up because I think that when we evaluate basketball games or professional teams at times, professional athletes, it's like, oh, well, they played with great energy tonight. Well, of course, they're supposed to do that. They play a professional sport for a living, and they're not like you and I where we have regular jobs. It's not that it's easy. Their job's not easy by any means, but they're playing the kids' games that we all played growing up and did for free and would do for free. But there is something to getting up for games on a nightly basis. And there has been so much of that this season. They get up every night. Now, again, like I've talked about before, that's easy when you are a team full of young 20s with some veterans mixed in. But tonight it was the veterans that in the clutch stood out the most. Fred VanVleet, stand up and take a bow, sir. Best night of the season. 38 points, 9 of 13 from 3, 10 of 19 from the field, 13 of 14 from the free throw line, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, only turned the ball over once. Of course, the assist number not huge like we're used to seeing at times for Fred, but he stepped up so clutch throughout the night when they needed him to. This basketball game was really, and then Dylan Brooks as well. I can't forget Dylan Brooks. Hit a big clutch shot there down the stretch. Had a bunch of clutch moments on both ends of the floor throughout the back half of that basketball game. You know, play-wise, he continues to, when you watch him, you realize that he is a guy that you love, both those guys that you love having on your team. I mean, it is about as fitting as it gets for the Rockets to win in that style tonight and to have Fred and to have Dylan be probably the two biggest catalysts down the stretch for the Rockets getting that victory. And they are the two guys that were brought in from the outside that were viewed as the guys that are going to help this group grow and help this group get to their next level. And that's what those guys helped the Rockets do tonight. This story of this basketball game, you know, first quarter, I thought it was everything you could add. I mean, it's really just a highly competitive back and forth, both first and second quarter. I mean, two teams going at it, two teams with some young cores, two teams that are probably going to be hanging around in the Western Conference for some time contending. And they just went out there and made basketball fun. That's my favorite part about all this is that, you know, I've talked about that a few times on this show. I am, and I know that you guys have heard it before. You know, it's been a long time since we've had fun. And that's what you're getting again. You can send in your comments, by the way. We're going to highlight a comment right here live on the show right now because we're going to clown all over it from DJ Mill, who says, what statement? OKC didn't have Chet. Okay, cool. That's not the Rockets' fault. Guess what they have to do? Go out and make a statement at home, and that's what they did. Sorry that the Oklahoma City Thunder lost tonight, and the Rockets won. It's a statement. This is a team that believes and is playing like that and played hard throughout the night and took every punch that Oklahoma City threw at them and punched right back. There's nothing wrong with saying that there's a statement made tonight, because there is a statement, because this isn't about the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a statement about the Rockets. That's the statement tonight. The statement is this team is actually good. This team is actually going to be a team that can stay top half of the Western Conference playoff standings. That's how they've played. And we're getting far enough into the season now at what's their the Rockets record now is. I just want to make sure I have it exactly right. Forget off the top. I have 15-6. Oklahoma City's 15-5. The Rockets are 21 games into the season. 21 games is a good sample size of an 82-game season now. Full believer right here. Full believer. Now, if you sat me down and said, are they a championship contender? No, they're not there yet. But they can play into the Western Conference playoffs, and they can win a first-round playoff game based off what I've seen. So, first-round playoff series right now based off of what I've seen. No reason why they couldn't. They'd be matching up against a team that's worse than them based on the way that they're playing right now. There's a long way to go before that. Long way to go. But I think that, again, every single night that this keeps happening, where they go out and they play great on the defensive end. And, there were stretches tonight where it wasn't so great. I mean, look, the third quarter, the Thunder just basically went in there and dominated the paint in the third quarter. I think they had either 18 or 20 points in the paint in the third quarter alone at OKC. That was a problem. Isaiah Hartenstein got his he wanted to make sure that his presence was felt tonight. And he made sure it was felt tonight. In the place that he was drafted to years ago. But they overcame all that. They found a way to, again, overcome and do their thing and walk out of there with the win. And then make the clutch shots at the end. Like, it was still tight. So you have to go out there and execute that. And they get clutch shots from Fred. I mean, they get clutch shots all over the place. They get big moments from Dylan. They get big moments from Alpy down the stretch, too. I mean, like, all the main characters that need to do it in those biggest of moments, they did it. They did it tonight for this Houston Rockets team. And that's why they're walking out at the Toyota Center tonight, feeling good about it. I did see the post-game interview there real quick for Fred VanVleet on the television broadcast, and he was asked about, how great was this to get a win against the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder, and he goes, that doesn't count in December. Which, player standpoint, now, when I say statement made, that's a fan thing. The team and Ime Udoka's not going, you're not walking around, chest puffed out, acting like they're the new big, walking around letting them hang, Sam Cassell style. They're going to be way more humble about this. They've earned nothing. Absolutely nothing. But for me and for you as the fans of this basketball team, heck yes, you can sit here and say, statement made. Heck yes, you can sit here and say, you know what, chest out a little bit. Because, again, the 30,000-foot view on the Rockets has been, from everybody that doesn't watch them, it's a good basketball. Or it's a team with a young core. Like, maybe they're going to be better. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to watch. Now people are going to have to go, whoa, I'm going to have to watch that basketball team. Maybe, maybe just maybe they're actually legit. Yeah, that's what you're getting right now from this Houston Rockets team. Another one of those nights. Best win of the season. Let's talk about that a little bit more here next on the Locked On Rockets Postcast after a thrilling 116 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is holiday season, and look, this is a time of year that you might need to go ahead and, well, get yourself some help. That's okay. This, by the way, is a show that is this show right here, this Locked On Rockets Postcast, is brought to you in part by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is, well, a spot that's going to help you, get whatever it is that's going on with you. You just need somebody to be there to talk to you, to hear it. That's exactly what BetterHelp is here for. Therapy can benefit everybody, and you can benefit with it starting today from BetterHelp. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. Switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Locked On Rockets Postcast. Tonight, after the Rockets' 119-116 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Toyota Center, Rockets about to head out to the West Coast for one more game of the NBA Cup before the knockout round, which they are going to, well, be right there at the top because they're awesome. And then, of course, a couple of other stops on that West Coast trip, Golden State and the Los Angeles Clippers next Sunday night. We'll talk about those games coming up here, at least the Sacramento game specifically, in a few minutes. But we're talking about tonight's 119-116 win over the OKC Thunder. I, by the way, Michael Connor, your host of this show. If you're new to our channel tonight, hello. Thank you for stopping by. We do this after all the games when the Rockets play. We've been on a run. I did have to miss a game recently. It was the second game of that back-to-back with Portland because that was the night that the Texans played. I think it was the night. I don't remember. I missed that one. And so I right now I'm on a winning streak with the Rockets. By the way, if you're looking for this podcast or this show anywhere that you get your podcast audio form, and those of you listening on the audio form, thank you for that. The Locked On Rockets podcast is what you search for. Anywhere that you get your podcast, it is absolutely free. Yes, free. Cost you nothing. Who doesn't love that? Everybody loves that. Also, don't forget to make sure that you check out the Locked On Rockets podcast. It's where you're going to find this show along with that show, and that is hosted. It's the daily podcast. This is the post-game format. I saw some comments on some of our videos the other day. For those of you that aren't aware, Locked On Rockets Postcast and Locked On Rockets Podcast are two separate shows. This channel right here is for anything Houston sports: Astros, Texans, Rockets, and Cougs football. We're going to try and do some basketball as well for the Cougs. But anytime that those teams play a live game, we are going to do post-game shows. As soon as it ends. As soon as the game ends, you watch this show. That's what we're doing here tonight with the Locked On Rockets Postcast after the win over against OKC. So for those of you that may be a little bit confused, that are new to this show, because it's on the audio feed for Locked On Rockets Podcast, that is what you needed to know. Jackson is still there, and I am still there, and it is going to be together on this same channel every single day. So again, appreciate you guys for stopping by for this one. Hit that subscribe button and come back and join us again after another one of these shows. Hopefully after another one. It'll be a little bit of late night the next few nights with the Rockets out on the West Coast. It is what it is. But we'll still be up with you hanging out. Yeah, I'll be a little bit tired, but that's okay. I won't be as tired when the Rockets win like they did again tonight over this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And this has been a season that has featured a lot of really good wins so far. We've had this discussion a few times. There's not any loss on the schedule that screams like awful. Maybe, like I mentioned a moment ago, that Portland game that they lost wasn't great because Portland's not good. It was a back-to-back, but it was also a back-to-back for Portland. But maybe the loss on the first game of the season to Charlotte. They had a loss to San Antonio. They split the back-to-back there. They had that loss to OKC where they got rocked earlier this year up there in early November. And then they lost to Milwaukee. That one was tight. And then they lost, I mentioned that loss to Portland. But you just go through the wins real quick. And, the question of is the best win of the season. It has to be this one or, man, I think it has to be this one or the win on the road at Dallas or maybe that win in overtime the other night in Minnesota. But I think it would come down to the Dallas game early in the season or this one as to which win was better. I think that this one probably gets the go-ahead for best win so far of the season. Because, again, I think you took a lot of body blows at times from Oklahoma City tonight, and you withstood them, and you never really let the game get out of control. I think that's a big, big part of what this team is doing this season is that really a lot of times that basketball is such a game of runs. You're going to have points of the game where you give up a bunch of points, you go on a run, whatever it might be. And, this is also a team that has weathered a lot of those storms. I think early in the season, that first couple of weeks, they were like tale of two halves. One half would be great, one half would be horrible. And, it would be just whatever. And they've completely flipped that script. They play complete games now. And that includes having moments in the game where things are different, right? Whether it's Fred going berserk late or going berserk all night, but going berserk late. Whether it's, look at Alpy tonight. Alpy's another guy. He had a brutal start again tonight. I think it's 3 games in a row where his starts of the game have been brutal. And he was 1 for 7 from the field. And Alpy ended up with 20 points tonight, 14 boards, 9 assists. He was phenomenal down the stretch for this team. He kind of took what Hartenstein was throwing at him after a while and dealt with it. And then went ahead and feasted on him a little bit. Look, that's maturity right there, right? Hartenstein got in foul trouble. And Alpy said, watch this. I'm going to take advantage of you having that foul trouble, and I'm going to go out and get mine now. You always know he's going to be great on that. And then he had multiple impact plays protecting the rim. And that kind of goes through, again, I know tonight you give up, what was it? What did I say the final score was? 119, 116 was the final tonight. You give up, 116 points, a little bit outside of the norm for the Rockets so far this season. But they have multiple significant defensive plays. So many guys throughout the game tonight. I haven't even mentioned Jalen Green. Jalen Green, I thought, played for a guy that had 9 points. I thought he played one of his best games of the season tonight. You know why? He knew that his shot wasn't falling. He didn't take a lot of shots. He let his teammates, again, it's us, not I on this team. He let his teammates ball out. He made the right passes when he needed to make the right passes. And then he played with, typically you look at that box score for Jalen Green, you see 9 points, and you would say, oh, well, that means that may probably pulled him. He played no minutes. No, he played 34 minutes in the game tonight because he wasn't a complete scrub on the defensive side of the basketball. That's maturity and growth. On a night where you can go out and have a horrible night offensively, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, and then, say, I'm going to let the other guys shine tonight. I'm going to let them do their thing. I see that Fred VanVleet's doing his thing. I see that Dylan Brooks is having a nice night. I see in the second half that Alperen Sengun is starting to go off. We're going to feed him. I see that, a Jabari is going to hit some shots, hitting some more shots tonight than me. All these guys did. And that's what I keep getting back to, the fun. Everybody's contributing. One night it's this guy, one night it's that guy, but they are finding somebody every night to have a great night out there on the floor. And then you mix that with the belief, the effort, all those things. You're watching it snowball, and you're seeing the results happen right in front of your face that make you go, okay, again, this is a team that is actually going to be able to play with anybody, not only in the Western Conference, but in all of the NBA. It's not hyperbole at this point. They're going to get a good test here on the road for the next 3 games: Sacramento, Golden State, or LA against the Clippers, not the Lakers. Clippers aren't. They're okay, but the Rockets already beat them twice this season. Sacramento is a team that is disappointed so far this season, and Golden State's been pretty fantastic, and the Rockets are going to want a little bit of revenge for that, loss that they had in overtime earlier this season. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what this basketball team can do in this stretch, and then also taking advantage of, look, they're playing a lot of teams after that. They're going to be very winnable for a good period of time. Take care of your business, do your thing, and you'll keep getting these results like they're getting. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be talking about a team that's 15, 20 games over 500 and be a legit top of the Western Conference contender. Let's take a look real quick at that game coming up against the Sacramento Kings in a couple of nights out there in Sacramento. We'll do that next here on the Locked On Rockets Postcast after the huge win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let me tell you right now about FanDuel. You want to throw down a few bucks on the games. Well, get ready for all the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. It's a Locked On Rockets Postcast tonight. Thank you all for joining us live. I am your host, Michael Connor. If you're watching this later, also appreciate you guys. I will say our numbers for these Rockets shows have been awesome. And now, of course, interest in the Rockets is higher than it's been in a very long time. But you guys have also been showing up and watching these shows, whether it's live or later on. And I am so grateful, like legit, so grateful. This has been awesome to watch it grow. It's a lot like when we did this with we started with the Astros season. This channel started and it grew like crazy with Astros coverage. And same goes for the Rockets. If you're new to who I am Michael Connor. Like I mentioned, I have been on the radio for years in the city of Houston doing Astros and Rockets pre and post game shows. So this is nothing new to me. I've always had a lot of fun doing it. I'm out of the radio game now. It was a fun chapter of my life, and this keeps me in it. I'm excited to be able to still do this in my available time at night to watch these games with you guys and then talk about them. Again, this show is live after every single game, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll be back to do it again, including in a couple of nights. A couple of nights from now, they're going to be in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Now, the Kings so far this season, underachieving, right? Based on expectation, 9-11 so far this season, are the Kings. The Rockets now sitting there at 15-6. Man, half game out of being the 1 seed. I know it's December the 1st, but the 1 seed in the Western Conference, your Houston Rockets. Send it in the comments right now. Will the Rockets be a top 3 seed in the West? I'm thinking about being bold right now. I don't want to do it. Because you know what? Me and bold statements on this channel, I made one earlier this year when the Astros were being terrible, that they weren't going to end up making the playoffs. They ended up winning their division. So I'm not going to go bold. I will say, I've said this a while ago, they're going to be a team that avoids the play-in for sure. There's no way that this team is in the play-in stuff, which still to this day drives me insane. It makes no sense why they added that, but I'm not Adam Silver, and it is what it is. Will they be top 3, though? Do you think they'll pull it off? I think that they can. The next game, the game against the Sacramento Kings, will be the final game of the pool stage of the NBA Cup. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend to you and try to tell you that I completely understand how all the NBA Cup stuff works. I know that the Rockets have they've already secured the top spot in their group, which is great. And by doing so, it's going to set them up. I think if they get the win against Sacramento in a couple of nights, they will probably play at home in the knockout stage. They're going to play at home, but play the Mavericks at home, I believe, in the knockout stage. It'd be a lot of fun to knock them out of that. I think this team's going to want this cup. That Sacramento team, again, you always got to worry about teams that are down a little bit, that they're going to come out, be a live dog. But the Rockets do what they've been doing, which is just showing up, playing with the level of effort that they have on the offensive and defensive side of the basketball. Their game at times can be pretty simple. Run the pick and rolls, do those things that they typically do. But if you execute it, you do it, it works, right? Just keep doing that. It'll be a 9:00 tip on Tuesday night. So we'll probably be live, around 11:30 for that show. So stay up late with us Tuesday night. Make sure you come on back and do this again with us after what is hopefully another Rockets win. Again, appreciate you guys for stopping by live. Hit that subscribe button. We will talk again Tuesday night following Rockets and Kings right here on the Locked On Rockets